Hey, you guys, welcome back to the I Am Worthy podcast. I am Brittany Noel, your host. And as you guys know, I am a therapist, a coach, author, speaker, entrepreneur, a whole bunch of things, okay? But y'all know here in the podcast, I'm just your friend in your journey as we are all seeking to evolve into a higher version, a better version, a more improved version of ourselves. So the conversations we have here are designed to do just that. How do I move into a greater version of me? Y'all know, if you've been with me long enough, that New Year's is my favorite holiday, okay? Skip Thanksgiving, skip Christmas. New Year's, it's my favorite holiday after my birthday, okay? So as I typically around this time of the year, I always say this is time for us to do an inventory, okay? We have to do an inventory on ourselves. How have we been in the last year? What hits have we taken in the last year? And what ways do I need to heal in the last year? What do I want to praise myself for in the last year? What do I want to give myself credit for or acknowledge growth in the last year? This is around the time that you need to start taking time to reflect, sit in reflection on all of 2022. And I don't know about y'all, but 2022 has been a doozy, okay? Y'all thought 2020 and 2021 were hard. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what it was about 2022. But for myself, for my friends, a lot of the people that I know, this year was just a whirlwind of things that you cannot control. Okay. And what was unique was that dealing with things that you cannot control, it really brings out the parts of you that are either not healed, that are still a work in progress. For some people, they regressed and went back to old ways of thinking and being. So this year really challenged us to really hold on to whatever growth we have experienced or whatever places of safety we've built for ourselves. As we're moving into the new year, there are 6 things that I want to put on your mind as far as being able to monitor your growth, right? And being able to really hold on to any achievements that you've received in this year and also maximizing those achievements in the next year, okay? I want us to start to be focused on where in my process do I need to evolve? Where in my process do I need to change? So that then we can be strategic about what things we actually put in place to start trying to see results. One of the very first things that I will tell you as you are monitoring your growth, growing into a higher version of you, one of the things that you're going to want to make sure that you are either doing, continuing to doing, or learning to do is you're going to have to learn to express your feelings instead of holding them in, okay? And this is a big one for a lot of people because especially when I work with men, they think that in order to express my feelings, that my expression has to be big. And that's not true. I think some people wait until last minute to express how they feel. Some people wait until they're too overwhelmed to express how they feel. So now that I'm trying to express myself, my expression comes out super aggressive. My expression comes out as big, overwhelming, because I waited until the last minute to actually say what was on my mind, and now my communication is ineffective. Okay. So this is why when people say, well, I try to express myself, but they're not hearing me, or, they take it the wrong way. Sometimes your delivery is less than ideal because you waited until your emotions were too much for you to handle. So when I say I want you to practice expressing yourself, it means that you have to learn to be confident enough to express how you feel in the moment, okay? So the minute someone crosses a boundary, the minute someone says something that hurts your feelings, the minute that something happens and you're like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that, you have to start expressing yourself in the moment so that, one, you can course correct yourself and people in the moment, but you're not allowing things to build up. Okay, that's going to be the best way is if you take the time to really be in tune with yourself enough to say, hey, that thing that you said actually hurt my feelings, or hey, I'm actually very sensitive today. So normally we can joke like this, but today is probably not the best day for that, right? Know how to express how you feel so that you're not holding them in, and so that the people that you love and care about are not having to guess about how you feel. The second thing that I will tell you is that as you are on your path of evolution, you're going to have to learn how to adapt to change, okay? If this last year has taught you nothing, it's that you are in control of nothing, okay? The minute you think something is going the way you want it to, the minute you think you got it together, the minute you think things are finally moving the way you would like to see it, a monkey wrench happens. Something breaks down, something goes left, something doesn't look the way you want it to. And 9 times out of 10 is something you don't control. Because if you could control it, it probably would not have happened, right? So the best way that you're going to be able to continue your path of evolution and growth is to learn how to adapt to change. The goal is not to control outcomes. The goal is to accept outcomes so that I can adjust to them. Okay. If you've been with me long enough, you've heard me say the phrase radical acceptance. And radical acceptance simply means that I accept things as they are, not as I want them to be, not as they should be, not as they could be, as they are. And this is hard because accepting things as they are many times means that it's going to hurt. Many times accepting things as they are means that I'm going to have to accept that this relationship may not work, or me and this family member, we may never have the type of relationship that I want, or me and this friend, we may never get back on the same page. Accepting people, places, and things as they are can be disappointing, it can be painful, but it is freedom in accepting things as they are, because otherwise you stay bound to a situation that is out of your control, and all it does is frustrate you every time it doesn't meet your expectation. So you're going to have to learn how to adapt to change. Now, the third thing I would tell you is that we do have to have a balance on self-acceptance and self-improvement, okay? Self-acceptance and self-improvement can live in the same place at the same time. I can love and accept myself as is without change, no upgrades, okay? I can love the heck out of myself and say, I'm still working to be better. I'm still working to improve. In order to balance self-acceptance and self-improvement at the same time, I can't allow my shortcomings to disqualify me. And this is where people get it wrong. You think that because you came up short in the relationship, because you came up short on the job, because you made a mistake, because the idea didn't work out, because this didn't go the way you thought it was, or someone didn't love you the way that they should have, you think that the shortcoming equals that you are less than. And it feels like that sometimes. But that's not true. The truth is, self-acceptance means I love myself good, bad, and the ugly. Okay, even the parts of me I don't want to show the world. I love those parts of me, while also saying I am still improving to become better. I'm still improving to evolve, that the parts that need to change don't make me less lovable. The parts that still are a work in progress don't make me less qualified. That I am qualifying myself as I am on my journey, and that is okay. Now, the fifth thing, you guys, and this is a popular one for this time of the year, and that is the desire, the need, okay, to break relationship ties with toxic individuals. Okay, now this one can be hard. It can be difficult. I think, one, we really have to take some time to define what is toxic, what relationships are toxic for you, because for everybody, we will have a different answer. So for you yourself, you need to define what relationships in my life are either toxic, unhealthy, or they no longer serve a purpose. That's the big one. They no longer serve a purpose. Do you know that you can have people in your life who are good people, who are kind people, who are loving people, but they don't serve a purpose? They don't push you into a greater version of yourself. They don't motivate you to think bigger, to think higher. They don't know how to support you as you're on your journey. It doesn't make them bad people, but it does mean that they don't serve a purpose. I think of it like this. If I'm in a boat and I'm trying to get from point A to point B, that boat moves a lot faster when everybody is in the boat rowing. And if you got people in your boat who mean you well, they're rooting for you, but they haven't picked up an oar to help you get to your destination in some way, shape, form, or fashion, those may not be the relationships that I spend the most time with. So it's not even that I got to cut you out my life, delete your number, block you. We ain't even got to do all that. But I do have to monitor how much time I'm spending with these people and how much access I'm giving them to my visions, my hopes, and my dreams. Because people who don't add value are harmful, because if I'm giving you something that's valuable and you don't have anything to do with it, nothing to add to it, I'm wasting what I'm giving. Okay? So take inventory of the relationships that you have in your life so that you can identify what people do I need to put distance between myself from, so that I can actually make room for the people that I do want and need in my life to keep growing, to keep evolving. The next one, the fifth one that I would tell you, and this is a game changer, okay? You're going to have to start viewing breakdowns in your life as opportunities for growth. This is a perspective shift, okay? The empowered way to look at obstacles, disappointments, and letdowns is for you to look at it and say, instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You're going to have to start asking yourself, how can I make this happen for me? Okay? How can I make it work for me? Yes, it's disappointing. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's painful. But what can I get out of this experience? How can I allow this experience to shape me in some way, to build me up in some way? What can I learn from this experience? Even in relationships, when I work with couples, I always tell them, whatever breakdown you see in your relationship, you can look at it as, okay, well, maybe we're not compatible, or maybe this is an area of growth. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to learn how to love each other better. Maybe this is an area, opportunity for us to learn how to communicate better. What opportunity can I see in this breakdown? That, okay, is a powerful mindset shift that you are going to, if you don't already have it, you need to take it with you into 2023. Even if you just look back on the last year, what opportunities for growth did you find in those disappointments? What opportunities of growth did you find in the relationships that didn't work out? What opportunities of growth did you find in the job situation that changed on you? Think about, how can I grow through the obstacle instead of allowing the obstacle to define me? Now, the last one is just as important, if not the most important of them all, okay? Is for you to allow your self-worth and your self-value to be defined by who you are, not by what you achieve. Okay? And this is for my high-achieving people. Okay? My people who always got something to do. There's always something else on the task list. There's always something else great for you to build and to be involved in. But I really want you to think about, am I choosing to define my value based on who I am, not what I do? Okay, if you've worked with me before, you have heard me say this in some way, shape, or form, that you have to know who you are when you're not a mom, when you're not, the RN, when you're not the director at the hospital, when you're not the employee or the sister or the wife or the girlfriend. Who are you when nothing is attached to your name? Because that's where you're going to find your value. You find your value in seeing the beautiful parts of who you are. You find your value in seeing how God placed purpose on your life. You find your value in seeing those little unique things about you that make you stand out or make you effective or make you good at what you do. Those are the things that we find value in, so that when we enter into people's lives, when we come into new opportunities, we know what we're bringing with us because we know who we are. If you make the mistake of defining yourself and finding value in what you do, then the minute that you can no longer do that thing, you feel valueless. You feel worthless, okay? This is why a lot of people, when they lose jobs, they're suicidal, right? When they lose the relationship, they just feel like all hope is gone. Why? Because they define themselves based on who they were in that thing. They didn't have value outside of the situation, outside of the marriage, outside of the job. You wrapped all of your value up into that one thing that you didn't control. And so when that thing went left, your value went with it. This is why it's important, you guys, for us moving into 2023. Let's make sure that we are clear on what our value is based on who we know ourselves to be. Okay? Now, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I myself am grateful for the last year of my journey where I have been, I say learning, but being taught how to be a better entrepreneur in every shape, form, and fashion you can think of. I think this last year I have gone through more transitions as an entrepreneur. I've had to learn so much that it forced me to grow up in my entrepreneurship journey, right? That's an example of learning how to look at, man, this year put you through the ringer, but look at who I became as a consequence of it. Look at how business savvy or how business smart you became as a consequence of going through the journey. Looking at the gifts of the adversity versus the adversity on its own. So that's what I have for you guys today. I want you to comment down below and tell me, of the 6 points that I gave you, which one of those are you going to start really focusing on for 2023 and beyond? Because I want to make sure that we enter into this new year on a new foundation, a good foundation. I'm going to help you with that. I know December 11th, Sunday, December 11th, I am going to be hosting my 6 Pillars of Self-Evolution workshop. The link will be in the description box below. It's going to be a virtual workshop, so wherever you are, you can join. But I want us to focus on evolving in this next year and what evolution looks like. How do I move into a place of feeling worthy? How do I move into a place of feeling sure of myself, confident of myself, focused on self-love, but also self-improvement at the same time? So that workshop will be on December 11th. So the link is below. You guys can hit the link and sign up. But more than anything, I want us to focus on just evolving into the next version of ourselves. Yeah, I have a lot more to say about that, but I'm going to wait till next week. So I will see you guys on the next I Am Worthy podcast. Make sure that you guys like, share, comment, send this video to someone who you know needs it, because you're not the only one growing. You're not the only one expanding in this season. And so share the love. Make sure that the people around you are getting the same information you're getting so that y'all can do this journey together. I'll be back with you guys next week. Enjoy your holiday, and I'll talk to you soon.